What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, along with Shane O'Mac and Two Pair Tate. We are live here from the football game. Spring game ended about 30 minutes ago. It took us a little bit to get warmed up and so forth and get everything going, but we are here ready to go and so forth. I've got Shane here. Shane, what's going on,
What's
man?
going, fellas? Everybody doing good tonight? That was a great scrimmage I saw tonight.
It was. It was good to see a little tease of football. You know
Yes,
what
just
I
a
mean?
little bit. Football, a little bit. Football was needed tonight. Football
It definitely was needed tonight.
Two Pair, what about the brilliance of all the other events that was going on tonight at this school?
Well, you have a softball game going on at Gibbs. You've got a regional baseball game going on. I think the regional baseball game is still going while we're going to be out here for another 30 minutes. So it was wild trying to get in. It took me 15 minutes to find parking.
Brother, it was crazy. And I got here and I set up, and luckily we have this beautiful backdrop behind us of the
That's
stadium.
a great backdrop.
And
awesome backdrop.
And it took how many years for them to have this stadium now, honestly?
2 to 3.
2 to 3. So
they did the whole season as a traveling team.
As a traveling team. And they even had a playoff game at somebody else's stadium that didn't
Mm-hmm.
make it or what have you. So, yeah. Guys, let's break it down. I mean, there was so much to get into. I mean, my goodness, we got a lot of bodies. I mean, rough count, we had about 70 to 71.
It felt like there was way more players and fans on our side, and we're the visiting team. It's like, why did we get this schedule? There was nothing going on at West tonight.
I think that what happened last year, unfortunately, where we were supposed to host Science Hill, soccer had a deep run into the playoffs.
That's right.
We had to move the game to Carson Newman.
Right.
So I just feel that's what happened right there and so forth more than anything. I
mean, there's a lot of logistics to go in between the athletic departments to get this type of stuff set up.
Absolutely.
Right. Gibbs hosted really well tonight.
They did.
And the stadium is beautiful.
The food was great. The nachos weren't bad.
They even had a concession stand, which was really nice. You never really see that.
Not for a scrimmage. No,
not at all.
For a scrimmage. You normally don't get you don't get an atmosphere like that. Not a scrimmage.
No, I mean, and it was just amazing and so forth. And we're going to break it down over these next 30 minutes of what we saw, what we liked, and obviously we need to taper expectations because it was a scrimmage. And Shane, you repeated multiple times during the scrimmage, you won't even have a final roster until game week of the Beard.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to know these kids' numbers, names out there until you're coming into that final week before.
And then there were some guys that changed numbers, and actually we got an exclusive interview with Jack Keefe as he was coming off the field. I like what the defense looked like early on with the first team.
There's a few things I want to pick apart, but we'll get to that later. I saw the defense, but it's spring.
We're not even like. To see what they look like spring wise, I think this is their first scrimmage against someone else. Will they have another?
In the spring,
yes.
So.
Yeah, you only get one scrimmage.
Yeah, you want in the spring, and then you get a couple in the early part of fall, late part of summer. Just kind of get prepped up for the season. Yeah. Then we're getting ready to roll.
Is it typical? How many you've been around the high school football, right? Is it normally one scrimmage, then straight summer workouts all the way, or is it
what's going to happen?
Scrimmage, another scrimmage, then summer workouts?
So what's going to happen? This was the conclusion of spring practice right here today.
So this was the conclusion.
This is the conclusion of spring practice. They're going to take
this closes out spring.
They're going to take the next couple of weeks off, and then first day of spring vacation after Memorial Day, you get to it.
Okay.
You're in the weight room. You get those weights until the dead period of the June, beginning of July. Then hello, summer practice.
Yeah.
For camp.
And it's going to go by fast, and I really liked what I saw right off the bat. We talked about some things in the preview, certain players, and realistically, a lot of them lived up to the hype. And I don't want to just get all excited, but they did what they needed to do. They played. They didn't play many reps. We got a lot of bodies out. I'd say 50 guys at least.
Oh, yes.
Got There was a ton of guys that were out there tonight. Like there was guys I didn't even have on my roster sheet.
I did.
I tell you what, the second and third street guys, I want to say what number 13 caught that last bomb.
Oh yeah, yeah. He
The
caught that last.
glasses. The glasses. The glasses.
Glasses. Any kid that is not wearing goggles and wearing glasses like Sean, like John Jefferson for the Chargers.
He didn't have the strap.
No,
He was just out.
And number 10 threw it perfectly behind
yeah,
the safety.
man, that's probably one of the better passes.
He probably had the toughest of it, but he was also with the backup offensive line. It didn't do bad, you know.
They
I mean,
didn't do that.
I was very shocked though, right off the bat, of how West ran the ball
Yeah, the offensive line
with
was good.
Tavian Ray
Yeah.
and Messiah Wren, who I have nicknamed before the season Thunder and Lightning, and it was no doubt about it. It was
So
like
that
huge.
reminded me of the old Lindell White, Chris Johnson days.
Yeah, the Titan does.
I mean, it was really interesting, you know, of how they ran the ball. I mean, Tavion Ray finished with 3 touchdowns. He had a hat trick tonight
Oh,
and
wow.
so forth. And you know, Messiah Wren had a huge run that set up the first one. And the offensive line, despite losing John Whitesell as well as Cooper, you know, I mean, they still brought back the guys like Brody McFalls and Deshaun and Coda Villa. Mabaney had a great game. I mean, they had
love
6
Mebane.
guys.
Mebane,
They
great.
had 6 guys
I'm a
that they were
Mebane
rotating.
fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Mebane fan.
I mean,
yeah.
they were rotating 6 guys, and they had 6 guys. And then in the second team, there were a couple guys that stood out to me that maybe get a little bit stronger in that weight room that you could be counted on for a 7th and an 8th guy more
Yes.
than anything. So, and if this team can run and control the clock, I mean, that might masquerade some other weaknesses.
Yes,
you know,
we can discuss those. One of the things I did like about that's on the offensive side
Mhm.
was the receivers were creating separation.
Yes.
Yeah, there still needs to be some quarterback work. They need to figure out who their man's going to be. But the receivers look like a good quarter.
I second that. Yeah, they got off the ball. They didn't have problems with the secondary. I didn't see a lot of times where they were jammed up at the line.
I think the other thing too, they weren't dropping balls; they were catching with their hands,
Yes.
which is something that you always feel at the high school level. Is like guys just try to catch it with their pads. I mean, they were catching with their hands. So props to the wide receivers coach for actually instructing something that is lacking in this level of football.
As a former receiver coach, I always got on my kids like they always want to do this and do that. See it into your hand. Like that window. Get that ball tucked in high and tight. Keep it in there. And I saw a lot. That looked good.
Absolutely.
I did. I saw a lot of that tonight. Like I saw guys getting off the ball, not having trouble. I will say a lot of times on the rollouts, I feel like we need to tighten those rollouts, waggle plays. You're getting the guys in line as far as making the play, but it seemed like when they're going to the underneath receiver, the balls were short. A lot of times I saw
It
that.
kind of looked like the quarterback wasn't getting his feet set like he needed.
Yeah,
to
he
on that
wasn't-
rollout.
wasn't
Saw a
set.
couple throws off the back
Yeah.
foot. I mean, they were close in the air, but that's some stuff they can work on in the spring or later on in the summer.
Yeah, you
That's
tighten
how-
all that stuff up in the summer.
I think also the quarterbacks may have been a little bit surprised with how much time they had. Maybe they were rushing a little bit because I think I only saw one time where really Gibbs got penetration
Yes.
on one of the drives, but for the most part, they had time to get out there and throw the ball and not be rushed. And you see, here's the thing. Iron sharpens iron, guys. They're
It
going
is.
up against that defensive line
Yeah.
that, I mean, despite the losses that we talked about, looks like they just reload. They just don't
Yeah.
rebuild.
I think
That could-
Shavers got a great key.
That could explain the timing issue with a lot of the quarterback and his receivers because the way the defensive line played tonight was amazing. So he's used to. I've only got a few seconds. He's kind of rolling out a little too quick, getting set. He's used to what a lot of action from his own team.
Yeah, and right off the bat, welcome back, Cameron Leggett. I mentioned him last week, and
Number 52.
52.
52
Oh,
is
God.
dominant.
And it was such a shame last year that he was injured and hurt, and really because he was a part of that rotation before the Farragut injury. So realistically, you saw what you were supposed to get last year, and he's even bigger and stronger. So I was, and with him and DeRoche,
DeRoche. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's a Big O's favorite player. Wyatt DeRoche?
DeRoche.
Right,
I mean,
DeRoche,
well, and
yeah.
then the other thing too, and Shane, I wanted you to talk about the defense and so forth because obviously we've talked about how you can't replace a Ryan Scott, you can't replace a C.J. Smith, Anderson Smith, guys that have been contributors for 3 years
Yep.
now, and they're all going to play college ball. And my question to you is how do you think defense did with some guys that really getting first major action at really key spots, replacing those guys?
The part of the story that took me the most tonight was the D line. That D line getting penetration. And you can't keep it. You tell Gibbs running, and they kept him contained a good portion. Now there's a couple rollouts and he got created some space, but quick whistles. But the D line stood up and took Johnson.
Yeah.
Linebacking core, I like to see them stop fighting on the run as much. That was an issue I saw. You see the middle linebackers pick up a little too much of a flow with the running back. But secondary, that's where I see some issues. Gibbs was passing, they were tearing up the middle. And there was some blown coverage plays that quarterback was a little bit more accurate. That's 6.
Yeah.
It was 2-3 last year. So they're not walking.
Yeah,
Well,
not
the other thing too, you mentioned the DBs. 2 guys, Marshawn Bauer, 6'4". That was a safety valve back there, and now it's kind of like you got some guys that are back and had some reps and so forth, but now they're counted on to be the guys.
Well, the good thing now is it's on film, and they can see where they can make the adjustments the coach has got them. The skill set's there. He's got a ton of over.
Two-Pair, you brought up something on the show on Tuesday. Are we a physical team? Are we a finesse team? From what you saw, what question was answered, even though it was just a scrimmage? What you think?
I felt like we're not getting to the edge fast enough. I felt there was a few times where a Gibbs player had cut back. And there was a nasty hit. And that's what I was talking about. Like, we had a few times where we're over percent. And we're not getting guys on the line. Like, you're not getting that direct line to make a tackle.
You're not tracking, they weren't tracking that near him.
No, they're not tracking the near hit. No.
And the wrap ups, just they weren't
Yeah,
there.
a lot of arms stuff. Not wrapping up.
That's the ball.
Yeah. But I mean, that's stuff you fix. This is why you have it to show what you need to fix, what you need to tighten up. Now, I will say, offensively, I like the way they're getting to the line quick. I like the way the rotation on the offensive line was impressive.
The holes
was
they were
very-
opening up for running backs. And it was a staple of running backs.
Oh my God! I mean, like
tons of backs.
it started off with Ren, then Ray, and then McAllister was your top 3, and then you had. Forgive me for not knowing their names. Number 35, number 39 was very physical when he got in there. Number 38 had a nice run. So even number 14 had an end around run that he scored a touchdown on at the end.
Jordan's
his name.
First. I don't know his last.
I don't know his last
dude,
name, but he was good on the
that
defense.
cut up, did he, man? Man, he cut on down on me.
And he was on the second team offensive line
Second
blocking.
team offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I like that guy impressed me. There was a scat back number 35. I didn't get his name. He was smaller, but my goodness, his cuts were great. But talk about Red, Shane. I mean, what you saw from him.
His vision tonight. He knew where the hole was going to be. He hit that hole hard and fast. And then when the defense was kicking, like, finds the next hole, gets to the next level. He was breaking through to the second, third level.
I mean, it was just unbelievable. I mean, and when you're getting that many yards right off the you're moving the chains, you're controlling it.
Look, you still got to get a props. They were dominant. That pancake by 77 tonight.
Oh yeah,
he was ready to put
Yeah,
that
that was pretty mean.
Yeah. Well, and Coach Villa was doing his thing. I mean, they were all blocking. They were in sync. I was very
You could
impressed.
see the instincts in those running backs tonight, find the hole. And even the big guys coming there, he had the fullback from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Ran straight to the middle.
Yeah.
Good, like 12-yard game.
What was he, number 48? I think it was
believe so.
48. Yeah, he had a huge run. Even number 2, Dominic Davis, the tight end, was even blocking and giving you a couple catches. But he gives, that weapon, the tight end that can not only block, but also bring something to the table. Number 89 did a great job, too, his backup that also got some time out there blocking.
He's got a good build to him. He's going to have a good, solid career once he gets into that next spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were so deep. So many bodies were used tonight. And Tavion Ray ran hard. I mean, like I said, I nicknamed them before the season Thunder and Lightning, and they lived up to the hype, honestly. And with those holes, I mean, they could really, get in there and control it. And I was very pleased with the wide receiver blocking too. Like, not you talk about wide receivers showed me something tonight. You had 4 or 5 guys like Corey Person made a good catch. Abel Ancelot, who was playing both sides of the ball, did very well, catching and making separation. But the blocking was just there. No matter who was in it, wide receiver, they knew their job. Whether they're the target to be there to catch the ball with their hands, create the separation like you all mentioned, but also to pair they were there blocking downfield, which is even huge for that second level backs to get there.
Yeah, that's what I was impressed with the level of getting up to that second level, and that's why they had so much space to make plays, to make moves, to score touchdowns. And I think that's going to be key for them going on is the blocking from the wide receivers, because Dirk can run the ball with the best of them. With that many backs, that depth, you need that depth going into October for football. Like when it gets nitty and gritty, you're going to have to run the football. You're going to have to set up play action. You're going to have a lot of rollouts. And I think with the speed that they have on the outside, you can do that.
You know, you're right about that, Duper. And I think the other thing that needs to also be brought up is the fact that check out where such an important part you mentioned, that schedule. Those defenses, they're ferocious. Beardens, the Merrill, Alcoa, Clinton. Central's going to bring something now with Kevin Lane. With Kevin Lane,
Marable Central is going to be a trap.
Absolutely,
it's going to be a trap.
Kevin Lane is going to really get that defense. You're going to feel it and so forth. Anderson County is pretty good as well. So the thing is you're going to need that stable of backs to get through what you're going to be facing this schedule. And as we saw last year, when Jameson and Bowers went down, Tavion was next man up. So was Messiah, and so they showed tonight that they're going to be the guys. But football happens, and so you're going to need a deep stable. But with that offensive line, that's half the battle.
Yes,
right
exactly. Could say better.
Yeah.
You're going to worry about injuries throughout the season. Nick's things along the way. West proved tonight that they've got a good staple in there. It's going to be able to run that ball when they need to.
And the weather was great.
The weather was
it's cold. I didn't realize it was going to be this chill.
Well, at least you guys got jeans on. I'm here in khaki shorts or
I
whatever.
like,
and I'm still a Florida Miami boy. Come on now.
To really be out here in this wonderful, this is a gorgeous. They got a gorgeous field.
They do.
They got a really nice field. I hate that we had to come out here and blow them out.
Yeah, well, and
in the spring.
Yeah, and we did. I mean, it was 35-7, but like Shane said, there were a couple of passes that could have made the score better. But at any point, though, West really showed that why they're the defending back-to-back champs and why they're going for history with this three-peat. I mean, that is the biggest thing right there.
This is the road to the three.
It is.
I think we did see tonight that Wyatt is a quarterback guy.
Yeah.
And why they haven't made the true one.
Yeah.
What did you see, Shane, like the difference of the strengths that each of them brought? You had number 7, who's the rising senior. You had number 11, Harrison, who was the freshman quarterback last year. So it looks like those two were the first two that got with the first follow.
Looks like number 7 has a good understanding of how it's supposed to flow. Looks a little more arm strength, a little bit better on his reads. Same with 11. The arm strength is there. He was laying out some deep passes tonight. They look good. Still got target his receiver a little bit better. But he can catch it. There's a bunch of 50-50 balls, but he starts throwing the double coverage, and that's going to be an issue down the road. Especially when we start playing their defenses.
Number 15 stood out to me, and I apologize, I don't know his name.
Yeah, we don't get names.
We don't have names.
Everybody's
numbers that stood out to me. But number 15 hung in the pocket. Of course, he had the second team O-line, but he threw a pass, and Corey Person, 6'3", all bit of him, got that ball and came down with it. Next play, Tavion Ray's running into the end zone and so forth. So I'm talking about 6'3" is a weapon at the high school level, and Corey did pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes, he did.
With the corner playing cornerback on that right side. So he
probably should be the best coverage I saw.
Yeah,
on defense. We came to
a tall corner. I mean,
that's prototypical corner now. If you want to play the next level, you got to be 5'10", 6'3". You got to have speed. You got to have weight. That's what it is. You're right. It's not the old days where you
5'9",
5'10", but it's a different game.
Yeah, because your receivers are now 6'3" and above.
You're not getting an offer for 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, and then of course they have their speedy slot guys, but still at the same time. So Let me ask you this here. Defensively speaking, they got a lot of out there. A lot of big linebackers. I mean, we joked around that like they've gone from my size of 5'8" or whatever. No disrespect to Jack Keith because he
Oh,
brings it,
Jesus. He's a stud.
but
He's
there
a stud
were
of that
some
group, though.
guys
He's a stud of
that
that
were
group.
huge. They were like 6 feet tall
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah, he's
I
a
mean,
stud of that group. He's definitely the stud of that group. Like I love what he brings to the table. And I even when you saw what he said from the interview is, if guys are fully committed, this can happen. We can go to 3. As I said, what needs to happen if you guys are going to win 3? Offense and defense got to be fully committed. You got to be fully invested.
And that's what that senior group brought. They may not have been the flashiest group,
Yeah.
but they brought that blue collar mentality, and they wanted to get better.
I'm bringing my
every
lunch
week.
pail to work. Let's go.
Exactly. They wanted to get better every week. And I'm not saying this team can't get better every week, but what I just find very interesting, and I said it to you off camera, Two-Pair, was that last year the theme was how dominant the defense was in the scrimmage against Science Hill that took place at Carson Newman. And the offense, of course, look, it's very hard to replace a Braden Latham, Caden,
Yes.
Aquarius Brent, all those guys that were a part of that offense that averaged 40-something points a game. And then you're having guys go from a wide receiver to running back like Marshawn Bowers, still getting his legs under him and so forth like that. And you had a quarterback last year who was a phenomenal quarterback, in my opinion, in Dance, who hadn't even played a down of football for a year because of an injury. So he was kind of working out those kinks. This year, though, I felt the offense was a lot more in tune, despite having so many quarterbacks and rotating them. The offense was moving the ball down the field.
What was shocking to me tonight was just the amount of quarterbacks they rotated in.
Yeah.
That shows they're not sure who's the top guy right now. And today was a good to see who it is, guys on film, and start working for his fall.
I like the fact that we've got depth. Like,
It's the deepest he said.
I like the fact that you can go 3 to 4 deep. If you go 3 to 4 deep, I feel comfortable as long as nobody's making turnovers.
Yeah.
And they're controlling the clock. They're keeping the ball.
I want to say it was number 10. He had took a couple back snaps and couldn't hold on to the He's working on that.
Was it a lot during shotgun? But I was seeing a lot of trouble during shotgun.
Yeah.
When they go to shotgun formation, that's when I saw a lot of those mishaps. It's like the timing of it, and then on the cadence, they're just going on go 1, 2. They're not. I didn't see a lot of audible in anything.
I think they kept it vanilla, right?
It's very
This is
vanilla.
also really scripted. You don't want to put too much out there on film right now.
Right.
You want to see where you're at. You want to see what your guys can do. You want to give them those reps, and then go from there. You're not going to see the whole play.
No, we definitely want to see the playbook, but it was like there wasn't any type of there wasn't any modeling of anything. Like it wasn't
None of the coverage
because
really good enough.
I will say this that I want to add to that, and you're right about that. I think that they didn't want to show a lot, but they showed a lot of what the guys can do in certain situations, like picking up 3rd downs and 4th downs. And realistically, I just felt at no point did I feel uncomfortable with at least the first team and second team and so forth.
yeah, I didn't feel uncomfortable.
Defensively, though, I felt that there were some things that can be ironed out. And I think if you find the right 11 and they can stay healthy, that's all you need at this point, honestly. So I was kind of disappointed they didn't even attempt an extra point or anything like that. Not that you have to rush the kicker, but I would have liked to see.
You want to see what he can do. You want to see his distance. Maybe just have him go out there and say, "Hey, let's see what you got."
Yeah.
Get used to catching it. Get used to some bodies being.
Yeah, because Schmidt was a hell of a weapon last year for West.
Man.
When you got in his range, he was going to knock it down. He's got the record as a field goal kicker at West for the most points scored, 70. So,
Wow,
yeah,
Michael Smith.
he's got that, and he even led all
I felt like
five-star
I
reps.
felt like Michael Smith had a ton of
Field goals
Field goals.
because we couldn't get in the end
I
zone.
feel like Michael Smith scored a ton of. Shout out to Michael Smith, man. A hell of a kicker for West.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yeah.
George Bullock too. Back in the day
Yeah,
too. George Bullock
George
played at
Bullock.
UT. So
Played at UT.
shout out to George. So,
Yeah.
a couple other things that I wanted to touch on.
Yes.
Props to let me see here. Let's see,
How about this is our first on location?
I know,
show?
right? I mean, it's a dream come true. Rebels with a cause.
This is like we're on location.
We are on location.
Like, how good is this football team? We're doing a on live W show.
Look at that, baby. It's all about
How
the
in the world did that happen?
Hey, what about
Like, what you've never like in the years you've been at West and the years you've been at West.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever think in a million years you'd be doing a podcast?
If you asked me 20 years ago, or 21 years ago, like we were all there, but never.
Bro, we are back-to-back champions, and we're doing on location podcast on StreamYard, talking about a West High scrimmage.
Yeah.
That's how much coverage they're getting
At the opposing team.
At the opposing team.
team.
After we just beat them like
Yeah,
35-7. So
People
you
have
know.
security to show up like, hey, y'all guys.
I feel like in the football season, we may have to have like a 30-minute after show during the home
It'd
game.
be nice if we can
This
pull
is
that
it.
off. I mean,
I know the schedules might
You
be
know
a little
what? We may have to do it from the press box.
So hey, it'd be nice.
We might.
I just have
Like,
to just tell Coach Gone, like, hey, Carrie, we'll lock up or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all of us.
It's not all of us. We love you. Yeah. Shout out to Coach
this
John.
is dope, though.
This is
This
dope.
is dope.
I
Like,
can't think of
we
two
might
other
have
guys
to.
like this.
We might have to do some. We might have to do some road games. You never know.
Oh my god! Could you imagine we do this at Alcoa and we beat them? At
Oh
Bristol
man,
Creek?
that
Oh,
would be
my
crazy.
Such a tight, confined area.
Oh,
It's-
But this is really cool though, man.
If that beer game is there on a Saturday night, we got to do it. I mean, I don't know.
If
If it's there, because we still haven't confirmed if it's
I should have asked more. Dang it, I'll ask him. So, but I just didn't know if it's at Harrogate that we're playing them or it's going to be.
the other question is it going to be the midday game like it was last year?
I
I don't think it needs to be a big
It's not gonna be a midday game.
do you think?
but it is on Saturday, so
It's going to be the most.
it should be 6:00.
Traditionally, it was at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, 7
6
o'clock
or
Saturday night game.
Yeah,
this
that way it
this
gets
thing
the
was
TV
the
coverage.
first time. It was the TV
Yeah,
coverage,
yeah,
and then I think ABC had that spot open at noon.
Mark
I mean,
Packer was excited about how many high school games. We're probably gonna get next to maybe 20 to 26 high school games covered this year because they are going to cover the playoffs this year.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
going to be between.
yeah, because they covered.
He said it would be between Fox and I can't remember the other channel. ABC.
He's
Yeah,
now
yeah.
with WATE, he ain't with WTLT no more. So.
yeah.
But yeah, well, that's the thing. Like West was on TV 4 times last year, or what have you. The state championship,
Yeah.
the 2 playoff games leading up to
Yeah.
it, and then the Bearden game at the beginning of the year. This year,
They
we've got Anderson County,
Anderson
Bearden,
County.
and if we do make a deep playoff run, we should be on there
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
if
So,
they make a deep playoff run.
especially that Powell West game. If Powell and West
That's
in that
really-
third round,
that's
yeah, it's going to
definitely
be.
If we play like we had the past couple seasons, it's going to be a much touch game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the fact that we get to do this on location.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing: they weren't perfect tonight, but they did enough to show what they've got to work on, like you said. And the thing is that this Gibbs team is no slouch, and that's the type of team. This Gibbs team is the type of team that you're going to see in the first or second round
I was
from
a little
Region One.
worried about Gibbs' numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
They were
West just they're interested.
I think West got that many kids that want to. I think once you get one, then you get two. There's somebody.
program.
Yeah, you're the go-to program. Like you're getting a bunch of guys that wouldn't have played football. You get a bunch of people that would not have played football.
I think the other thing too that's really huge, too, Pair, that can't even be dismissed, is the fact that you had that many guys rotating, and then you even had some guys that were on the injured list that weren't dressed out tonight, and they didn't look like they were severe injuries.
Right.
But still, I mean, if you get those players back, I mean, where do they fit in the rotation if they've been contributing? I mean,
there's tons of talent. Like
Looks like it's one hit of sling and another one in a brace.
yeah.
Now, of all the ones
The
that
leg
were
brace, he had the leg brace or whatever,
Yeah.
and then some other guys might have some nicks and knacks that maybe they had concussion protocol.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things. But the thing is that you had a lot of guys dressed out, and it wasn't just numbers looking fun on the sidelines. They were there to play, man. They were there, and Burdine, he didn't really play all that much, but when he did, he contributed. First handoff right off the bat, he got a 5-10 yard gain on an end around. so forth. So you can tell that they're going to use him, but primarily he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. It looks like, and be your special teams punt returner. And we didn't even get to see what that was all about.
Yeah.
We did.
And that's a safety. That's a safety issue.
And that's the thing.
You want me to
we weren't- yeah, you're not going to see that. On
Yeah, but that's where he's made
Yeah.
the.
That's
Now,
where he's
what
going to make plays. That's where he's going to
I've seen
make
in
plays.
past years is the kicker will go out there and you get your returner back there just so they get the field with kicks.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just to get to that point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they even did punting last year. Like Lance Hill punted last year when we scrimmaged them. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, but all in all, I mean, and you know what the most important thing was, to compare how important was it that you didn't have any major injuries in this
Yeah.
game, live hitting. I mean, because you
Yeah.
got out of it relatively pretty
But there
easy.
was a mean. There was probably 2 to 3 mean hits tonight.
Oh,
there
there
was
was
something major with that one with the kid from Gibbs took that. Made that
He-
the
cut.
hit pointer at the end. Yeah.
When he made that reverse. What happened was the first guy missed.
Yeah.
He-
39 had him, and then it just got
39
out. Yeah.
He goes for the arm tackle. The dude reverses field.
Yep.
And I don't know who hit him, but after he hit him, he stood over him like Allen Iverson did Tyronn Lue in the in the finals.
Yeah.
In the
It was
finals.
crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that was wild, man.
I-
That was one of the best hits. We took our lumps through the middle, but our guy was defenseless, and that would have been targeting if that was a regular season game. That would have been targeted on Gibbs.
Yeah, and
Listen,
realistically,
wait, real quick, supposed to be real bad.
yeah, no problem. No, it was really interesting to pair. If you think about that it really wasn't needed. I mean, the ball was already on the ground, and I
Yeah.
mean, I get it's football and so forth, but
Mhm.
not for that, because I can't speak for the Clinton player. I'm sorry, the Gibbs player, but realistically,
Mhm.
like, be smart, because if that was a real game situation, you're a starting safety, you get thrown out of a game, that ain't good.
No,
That
it's
ain't.
not, man. It's definitely not good at all.
I don't know, man. You know, the other things that stood out to me. Number 5, Drada, did a real good job tonight playing football.
David Drada.
Yeah,
David Drada.
Abel Lancelot, number 3, playing both ways.
We gotta find out number 13's name.
We need to find out.
We need to
number
find
13.
out. We can't keep calling them glasses.
I know,
But
I
that was
know.
an impressive. That was an impressive catch.
It was.
Like
It
he
was.
beat his man, caught the football, took it to the house.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, number 8 had a great. Our person had a great catch.
34.
34. Yep. I mean, and then like I said, the running game really just did their thing.
I
I was so impressed with the offense today. I mean, because realistically, traditionally, you always hear about in college football. Traditionally, you feel like with college football, it's kind of like one of those things where the defense is always ahead of the offense, and this was surprising to me of how ahead the offense was. But I'll tell you what helps when you got 4 guys on the offensive line. It all starts up front. Shane said it best. Shane said it that you don't win nothing unless you got the trenches, and it starts up front with the offense and so forth like that.
And the offense showed
yeah.
tonight that they can do what they need to do.
Yeah, they did. They did. I like the way the offense looked.
Yeah.
He's just tightening up everything on bro.
and picking the guy
Yeah,
but
picking the guy, because if you can go 4 to 5 right
Yeah.
now,
Well, what I think is going to be best for them is that O line's proved what they can do.
yeah, they
You really got a game man, make the passes you need to make. Run game's unstoppable.
Mhm.
But the other thing about that line is they gave all the quarterbacks time to throw.
Mhm. And here's the thing, too. You've got an opportunity the next couple months to get stronger and more.
Yep.
I mean, just get it. You know, I mean, you know where your deficiencies are, work on it, and get better at it. So
Yeah.
forth. I mean, honestly. Final thoughts or what have you and so forth. I mean, did we go? I mean, because we wanted to go about 30 minutes. We're at 34, 35, and I could
Yeah.
talk all night about this,
Well,
but
you
at
know
the
what I'm
same
saying,
time,
you know,
it's just amazing.
Yeah, this is great. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a short show. We just pulled up.
And we'll talk more about it on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Plus, you're going to talk about the basketball tryouts.
Basketball will be there Monday.
Yeah, so you'll have
that'll
that
be
to
at
talk about.
3:45.
Tuesday. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
so
I'm
we'll
gonna-
talk. We can talk more about it and so forth. But it was just an instant reaction, and it was just nice to have football
Yes.
back. God,
Yeah,
it was so nice to have football
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
West,
Now we got to wait till fall scrimmage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, knowing Lamar, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to maybe scrimmage against a Jefferson County again, or also maybe Science Hill, somebody that could get you prepared. And so for Catholic,
Yeah.
someone like that.
You're going to go find somebody who's going to challenge you.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
I would like to see against Catholic.
Yeah, and that happened last year, and they got better because of that scrimmage.
Yeah.
Honestly, they did. They got better because of those scrimmages. Like I said, they got better week by week, and that's what I want to see from this team. I want to see improvement on all levels: special teams, offense, defense, and like your boy Jack Keith said, everybody's got to be all in.
Everybody's got to be all in. I think he had the quote of the night, and just hearing it from him makes me feel a little bit assured of how good they're going to be on defense. Like, hey, he's truly accepted that leadership role. He's coming back as one of those guys that's gotten 2, and he's trying to get 3 as he graduates. So
I really
that
like.
was impressive.
outside like that.
Oh yeah, 37 stood out.
45.
And we even talked about 30. That if he just maybe tightens up a little bit,
Yeah.
it's not so aggressive.
He's
He likes to hit.
he's
They
got-
bit on that run, though.
He loves
They
to
bite
hit.
on that run.
He's got 30 has a very unorthodox stance out there. I have not seen that in a high school kid before, but a kid wants to get in the action.
Mm-hmm.
I think just give him calm down a little bit, make sure he understands the flow a little bit better. He'll be good. He'll be a good backup.
Yeah, and I like 45 David Neely out there too. You had him lined up in the middle at first.
Yep.
Then they put him back to his other position because he took a lot of the reps when Anderson Smith wasn't in last year. So it was interesting. And then you had 31 Lavelle on the other side. So and then you had guys behind them, that really stood out to me. Like we've already mentioned 30. There was also number 20. Number 20 was out there. And number 48 also had the run. He's playing both ways.
Yes, he
So
was.
not only does he run the ball, he was hitting out there too at linebacker. So you had
And
some
normally when
guys.
you have that
Number
really,
30, yeah.
normally you have that really deep running back. He gets a lot more reps than linebacker because they're mirror images.
Absolutely. So I think 42 was also another linebacker I had out there as well. So it was number 42, and he also. I mean, it was so deep, and you could tell that nobody wants to get hurt and miss a play.
No.
Because it's next man up. It really is that Wally Pipp thing. Like if you don't, you're not out there. There's somebody that might be better than you that could take the spot.
There's depth.
Oh,
And I really want to commend like the families for coming out. Like, man, you need to trip all the way out to
This
Gilbert.
is a long
on a
drive.
Friday
On a
afternoon at
Friday
6 o'clock
afternoon.
with all that traffic and
All
all this
that
other stuff that was going on.
Coming
I mean,
downtown,
yeah, that
coming
was
downtown
wild.
so it's not fun at this time.
I've never been to a football scrimmage where there was a baseball game, a softball game, plus the football game. There was nowhere to
There
they
wasn't.
can't do this next
No,
year. Like
no.
next year.
I've seen it, but this is part of that for the baseball and the soccer or softball. It's tournament time.
Yeah, it is. It's
And
tournament time.
when it comes to you can't obviously there was an agreement with the ads here tonight for football, but it also comes down to you never know what's going to happen depending on how
Right.
the team plays.
Right. That's true.
It's crazy. I mean, the fact that we did have all this stuff going on here, and luckily the weather, which has been horrible
Held up.
all week,
Held up.
we got like a most perfect night
Yep.
for on a May day in
Yeah.
May. Are you kidding me? So shoot. But,
Today's weather made my job a lot easier.
oh, absolutely. So true. So, well, guys, final thoughts or whatever like that. Shane, I'll let you go first. man.
Excited for the season. Glad to be back over here in the West. We're covering football. Just excited to see what the guys do. See what's going on.
Absolutely. Make history. 5A, never been done before, 3 in a row. So, 2 pair.
I mean, there's a lot of excitement surrounding the football program right now, as it should be. I mean, defending champs twice. Basketball gets jump started Monday, so
Boys and girls. Girls tryouts too, right?
We're supposed to be trying out as well. Man, I there's a lot of excitement around the program. Shout out to Cody Graves. I think he's really building this women's program from the ground up. It's really getting from the ground up, and you can see what he's doing as far as the AU work with all the other age groups. That what I'm saying, he's gonna get those kids to go to West.
Well, and the other thing too, for Coach Maporo and that group of guys, you guys can have this too. Just like how we're talking about football, you guys can
they
start
are
something
loaded.
with basketball
They are loaded.
and maybe start a tradition, especially with the group of people you have. And so,
I mean,
Somebody give me all the film so I can sit down and watch it all.
I just want to see what I'm looking forward to Monday. I don't think Garrett Bursch is going to be available yet. I don't know. He did tear some ligaments in his angle.
Ooh.
It
wasn't a clean.
wasn't a clean break. So I don't know if he's. That was what, February.
That was February, early February, and that was a makeup game because of the whole thing with
the snow.
with the snow,
Yeah.
and what a cost it was to win that Bearden game at the cost of losing such a key player that you had no availability the
Yeah.
rest of the season or
Yeah,
district
man.
or region tournaments. You had nothing. So.
Really looking forward to seeing what Kalu Fofana does. Really looking forward to Dane Clark, who I've been high on. I've been high on Dupree as always. That Schuler. I think Christopher Cowan might take the biggest leap of everyone. I think Devin's got a lot to prove with all the colleges coming after him now. I think he's got one offer, Kentucky Christian University. I think Kevin Jack is going to be an all-district, all-region, maybe all-state performer. I think these guys got a chip on their shoulder for the way the season ended against Oak Ridge, and they left a lot to be desired in that Bearden game. I mean, district was theirs for the taking. They just got to really take it this year coming up.
Yeah, because there is no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. And then, you get a leader back like Jack Heath who's playing football right now. He's in that football mode. He gets back to basketball. He's one of the best backup guards in the city. And I really think Reese and Jalen, they are. I don't think they're the best backcourt. I think they're a phenomenal backcourt. The best backcourt is out
Cherries.
That's out east.
That's Cherries.
What I will say about Jalen Hill and Reese Clark, you may not find a better backcourt besides him. You got the Cherries on the east side, right? They are the landlords.
And the good news is they're
Jalen Hill and Reese Clark came in that house and bought real estate 30% off. It was a 30 ball.
And I'm hoping they.
But also uses a state champion, state qualified team. You know what I'm saying? They got a phenomenal team. They're coached well. You know what I'm saying? And I just like the way I like what Jody Wright said earlier this week. Like, he's not done. It's like he's not riding off into the sunset because they're going to be loaded again. Fulton's going to be loaded again. Bearden should be formidable.
Oh yeah.
Tough matchup.
I think I just don't get how fair it's not like they got talent. Those the Van Ackers. Well, they only have one going forward. Like Dominic Van Acker is going to be one of the better players in the city. One of the better players.
Ran to a guy whose grandson plays over at Farragut. His grandson's like starting point guard over at Farragut. Someone's coaching. Kids aren't bought in. So it could be a little bit different.
Yeah, I think Fulton basketball. I mean, Farragut basketball.
I think Farragut will probably take the place of William Blunt being that pesky. William Blunt's graduating a lot. This was William Blunt's 2 years. Yeah, and he graduated too. So you could probably see it between Farragut, Bearden, Maryville, and West for that top spot in the district. It's such a bloodbath.
I can see that.
Such a
And
bloodbath.
William Blunt is a very physical team.
Yeah, Hardin Valley is chippy too.
They're
They're pesky. Yeah,
they're pesky.
They are.
They're very pesky.
And if they hit the 3 ball like they did, and it's a shame we lost that game on the free throw line.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I do want to thank Gibbs for the hospitality.
Oh yeah, no, thank you to Gibbs
Really
and
nice,
everything.
really nice.
It's starting to clear out. Baseball's over, and I think it's time for us to head on home to our families and everything. But this was fun, and I can't wait to do it again.
Man.
So
I figure 30 to 40 minutes of talking about the game, post game. And this backdrop was awesome, man.
it was
It's a great
It
backdrop.
was awesome.
I can't wait to see this as we get done with this one and we go back to look at it, man.
Absolutely.
This was a really good show, man.
Well, we'll end it with the W. 2 pair, end us out, and
Hey, man, love, peace, and chicken grease.
Wes runs this thing. We out, boys.
Peace.